This is your USMNT Abroad weekend update from May 6th to May 8th of 2022. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV, and welcome to another USMNT Abroad episode where every Monday we update you on how the Yanks did abroad over the weekend. But listen, the series is coming to an end for this season. We'll be back in August, obviously, with this specific series. The channel goes on. June will be a very busy month with the U.S. men's national team having 4 games and the U.S. men's national team U20 having the Olympic qualifying and U20 World Cup qualifying. But with that said, with 2 more episodes left after this one, I was thinking of doing the last episode as a live stream where we can all interact. And I can also go through the entire season, summarize the main points and everything. So let me know in the comment section down below if the last episode of this season, not next Monday on the other ones, if y'all want a live stream or y'all want just a regular episode as always. With that said, everyone, don't forget to smash the like button so we can try to hit 1,000 likes once again in this episode, and to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this. Also, I'm putting it on the description here, the Tactical Managers Clips channel, where Dustin will be uploading every week clips of our interviews with players, highlights of our live streams, and much more. So make sure to subscribe to that channel. The link's on the description. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers in that channel by the end of June. We're at 500, so make sure to check it out. All right, let's play the intro and let's go to the updates. And let's start with Christian Pulisic from Chelsea, and Mark Pulisic's tweet worked. On Saturday, Christian Pulisic started and went the full 90 minutes for Chelsea during their 2-2 draw with the Wolves in the English Premier League. A disappointing result as Chelsea did have the lead all the way till the 97th minute. Pulisic played as a 10, aka an attacking midfielder that was mostly central. At times he would drift wide, but he was mostly central for the most part of this match. Christian Pulisic also did get an assist for Chelsea during their second goal with a nice, well-placed pass to Lukaku after stealing the ball from the opponent. Then Lukaku went on with a nice finish to get them the 2-0 lead, to which eventually Chelsea would blow it. Now, Pulisic should have had 2 assists. He did assist Timo Werner with a nice through ball. The goal was disallowed. So yeah, if it wasn't disallowed, he would have had 2 assists, but in my opinion, maybe it shouldn't have been disallowed. Now, Pulisic, in my opinion, looked also pretty good at the 10 role. He did try incisive passing, try to put his teammates in positions to succeed, to score, and even got the assist. Now, he did at times hold the ball for too long. Sure, that was a problem, and if he's going to play as a 10, he needs to address that. But as a winger, you normally do hold the ball longer. But as a 10 in crowded areas, you need to release it quicker. So as Pulisic plays more in that role, I think he's going to learn and improve. So maybe the 10 role is something that Pulisic can develop and become later on rather than a left winger. But again, the more he plays there, the more comfortable he will get, and I think he can play as a 10, or maybe at least as a 10 as a shadow striker. Now for this match, Pulisic had 1 assist, 4 key passes, 60 touches, 75% passing accuracy, won 6 out of 14 ground duels, and was fouled twice. Now, not related to Pulisic's performance, but Chelsea has a new owner, and he's American. Todd Boehly is the new owner of Chelsea's franchise. Sorry, I said franchise, I meant club. The deal can reach up to $4.9 billion, and he's also the part-time owner of the LA Dodgers. So the whole sanctions and everything seems like it'll be resolved within the next few weeks once the sale is finalized, but it looks like it's official by now. Weston McKennie is training regularly with Juventus, but he still is not ready to play. Dest and Reina, as you all know, they're done for the season, and they're out of the U.S. men's national team camp in June. But now let's talk about Tyler Adams and Ricardo Pepi. They both faced each other over the weekend as Leipzig and Augsburg clashed. On Sunday, Tyler Adams started off on the bench and came in at the 71st minute for Leipzig, while Ricardo Pepi also started off on the bench and came in at the 58th minute for Augsburg during Leipzig's 4-0 win. Now, when Tyler Adams came in, it was already 4-0 for Leipzig, and when Ricardo Pepi came in, it was already 3-0 for Leipzig. So what I'm trying to say is when they both came in, the game was kind of over. And this was a crucial win for Leipzig as they were able to get into the top 4 that qualifies to the UEFA Champions League, which now they cannot qualify through the Europa League because they were eliminated. To my surprise, obviously. Now, RB Leipzig now just has to defeat Arminia Bielefeld in the last round to lock in the 4th seed and get the spot in the next UEFA Champions League. As for Augsburg, they are safe from relegation and will be in Bundesliga next season. Also, a friendly reminder, next weekend is the last round of Bundesliga. Now let's quickly talk about Jesse Marsch, and boy oh boy, he's in trouble. On Sunday, Leeds United lost to Arsenal 2-1. And the problem with this was Everton won their match versus Leicester after defeating Chelsea too. 2 wins that many did not expect Everton to get. Leeds United is now in the relegation zone and in trouble. They are tied in points with Burnley, but behind due to goal differential. Everton are 1 point clear of both teams with 1 game in hand. Everton is likely going to be safe out of these 3 teams, in my opinion. They have 1 game to play and they're already out of the relegation zone. And they're just the better team in general. In regards to the schedule, Burnley and Leeds United have a somewhat similar schedule in terms of level of difficulty. But let's talk about Leicester. Their next match over the midweek is versus Chelsea. As a US men's national team fan, Chelsea versus Leeds, maybe Pulisic starts. Jesse Marsch needing a win to save his life right there in Leeds. Not literally his life, obviously. I mean like his job. We don't know if he'll stay if they're relegated or not. He'll likely stay. But yeah, we thought Leeds was safe from relegation 2-3 weeks ago. They definitely are not, and at the moment, if the league ended today, they would be relegated. Now off to the positions, and we'll start the goalkeepers. So the first one is Zach Steffen for Manchester City. He stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes for Manchester City. So now let's talk about Ethan Horvath from Nottingham Forest and Alex Maitan. On Saturday, Ethan Horvath stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes for Nottingham Forest during their 1-1 draw with Hull City in the English Championship. Now, Alex Maitan, the winger, the English-American winger, started and went the full 90 minutes for Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest now finished in 4th place in the Championship, and they will head to the playoffs to fight for the last spot in the league to the Premier League. The other teams competing for that one spot are Huddersfield from Dwayne Holmes, Sheffield, and Luton Town. So 4 clubs for 1 spot. Okay, now let's go to the center backs, and we'll start with John Brooks from Wolfsburg, and obviously, since he also plays for Wolfsburg, Kevin Paredes. On Saturday, Brooks started and went the full 90 minutes for Wolfsburg during their 1-0 win over Cologne in the Bundesliga. Now, Brooks had a strong game. He helped his team get a clean sheet, and he played as a left center back in a back 4. As for Kevin Paredes, he stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes. Now, Chris Richards and Justin Che from Hoffenheim. Chris Richards, as you all know, he's done for the season. He's actually training with FC Dallas. And Justin Che stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes for Hoffenheim during their 4-2 loss to Bayer Leverkusen. Next up is Eric Palmer-Brown from Troyes in Ligue 1. On Sunday, Palmer-Brown started and went the full 90 minutes for Troyes during their 2-2 draw with PSG in Ligue 1. You know, I'm going to teach you guys by the end of the season. You got to say it as if you have marbles stuck up your throat. Not that I ever had marbles stuck up my throat in my adult life. And yes, for this match, despite the 2-2 draw, Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi did play. I was not able to personally watch this game, so I cannot comment on Eric Palmer-Brown's performance, but he did play as a central center back in a back 3, and here are his stats. For this match, Palmer-Brown had 3 clearances, 1 block shot, 2 tackles, 1 penalty committed. He also had only 26 touches and a 72% passing accuracy. So yeah, based on the stats, he did not play well. He did also miss 1 big opportunity to score, and I know it's not his job, but I mean, you can still score if you're a center back. Next up on the list is Mark McKenzie from Genk. On Friday, McKenzie started and played the full 90 minutes for Genk during their 2-2 draw with Michelin in Belgium. This is the 5th straight game that McKenzie starts in a row for Genk. Last but not least on the center back position is Cameron Carter-Vickers from Celtic in Scotland. On Saturday, CCV started and played the full 90 minutes for Celtic during their 4-1 win over Hearts in the Scottish Premiership. For this match, CCV had 6 clearances, 1 block shot, 1 interception, 2 tackles, 72 touches, and a 90% passing accuracy. Now, Celtic only need 1 draw in the last 2 games to be played to lift the trophy, or they need Rangers to drop points in any of their 2 games left. So Celtics currently have a 6-point gap over Rangers, and to be quite honest, they are pretty much the Scottish champions, just not officially yet. Now let's go to the fullbacks, and let's start with Anthony Robinson and Tim Ream from Fulham. On Saturday, Ream and Robinson started and went the full 90 minutes for Fulham during their 4-0 loss to Sheffield, which is very uncommon for them in the English Championship. Now look, the Fulham players were likely all hungover from celebrating all week the return to the English Premier League and the English Championship title, so it's understandable. Next up is Reggie Cannon from Boa Vista in Portugal. On Friday, Cannon started and went the full 90 minutes for Boa Vista during their 1-1 draw with Vitória in Liga NOS, and Cannon did play as a right center back in a back 3. Now Sam Vines from Antwerp in Belgium. On Sunday, Vines started and went the full 90 minutes for Antwerp during their 4-0 loss to Anderlecht in Belgium. Now, Joe Scally from Borussia Mönchengladbach, Dustin's favorite team. That scammed him when you went to their game to watch Adams and Scally. But let's go to the update. On Sunday, Scally started off on the bench and came in at the 86th minute for Gladbach during their 1-1 draw with Eintracht Frankfurt. Next up is George Bello from Arminia Bielefeld. On Friday, George Bello started off on the bench and came in at the 77th minute for Arminia Bielefeld during their 2-1 loss to Bochum. Now, Bello did score his first Bundesliga goal. Unfortunately, it was an own goal. And, you know, it was kind of the nail in the coffin in terms of them getting relegated. They're not officially relegated, but it's kind of ruined their chances. And it was a weird goal. The goalkeeper saves and just hits Bello and goes back in the back of the net. You know, you can only make mistakes if you play. It's part of the game. George Bello just has to pick his head up and keep pushing. All right, now Jonathan Gomez from Real Sociedad B. On Saturday, Jonathan Gomez started off the bench and came in at the 80th minute for Real Sociedad B during their 2-1 win over Fuenlabrada in La Liga 2. Okay, we're done with the fullbacks. Hopefully by now you smashed the like button and we've hit 1,000 likes or close to that. You know, it helps my ego quite a bit. My ego goes all the way up. Now the midfielders will start with Yunus Musah from Valencia. On Saturday, Yunus Musah started and played 66 minutes for Valencia during their 0-0 draw with Atletico Bilbao. So Musah played as a striker for this game with two strikers up top. He was more of a second striker as he did come back quite a bit to support the defense, and he was also more supportive of the offense rather than being like the poacher, a center forward in the box. So essentially he was playing as a second striker in a dual striker formation. So I was happy that he got to start, but I did not like his performance as a striker. I'm open to seeing it again. And we did see it a few times this season. I just never thought it went very well. I don't think it's his actual position, in my opinion. Next up is Johnny Cardoso from Internacional in Brazil. So Johnny continues to either come off the bench or stay on the bench the full 90 minutes for Internacional every week. A move would be good for him, and anywhere to get consistent minutes would be delightful at this point. He is linked to many MLS clubs. Interest is real, I can confirm. He is also in the process of getting his Italian passport. And if that happens, a move to Europe over the summer or in January of 2023 is more likely than MLS, as the player would prefer so. Now, Alan Sonora from Independiente in Argentina. On Saturday, Alan Sonora started and played 78 minutes for Independiente during their 3-0 win over Huracan. Alan scored a beautiful goal off a free kick for Independiente in this match, but you know, here's my opinion on Alan Sonora with the US men's national team. Does he have the quality? Yes, to fight for a roster spot. But I don't see him working under Greg Berhalter for two reasons. One, he won't press, or to the very least, he won't be very good at pressing, and Greg likes to press. Greg also prefers a very well-structured system, less fluid, and Allen requires a more fluid system, you know, more free roaming, where he can free flow and create, be a playmaker without having to worry about his positioning and everything else. So I'm all for him getting a chance. I'm just not sure it would work. And that's not criticism on Allen or Greg Berhalter. It's just Greg has a way to play that doesn't really suit Alan Sonora, and Alan Sonora has a way to play that doesn't really suit Greg's system. You know what I'm saying. Now the Venezia boys, Tanner Tessman and Gianluca Busio. On Sunday, Busio and Tessman stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes for Venezia during their 4-3 win over Bologna. A dramatic last-minute win with a goal scored at the 93rd minute. Now Venezia are not officially relegated, but they are unofficially relegated. They need to win all 2 games left and still hope for Salernitana to get 1 point or less, and Genoa and Cagliari to get no wins in the 2 games left. They do still play Cagliari, so, you know, there's a chance, but I find it unlikely. They also only survived because of their late goal at the 93rd, and because Cagliari tied the game with Salernitana at the 99th minute. So 2 games, 2 goals past the 90th minute are the only reason Venezia wasn't relegated this weekend. Unfortunately, I don't think they'll have the same luck at the upcoming round. Now, James Sands from Rangers in Scotland. On Sunday, Sands started and went the full 90 minutes for Rangers during their 2-0 win over Dundee United in the Scottish Premiership, as I said earlier in the video, keeping their title dreams alive. Even though their focus is most likely on the Europa League final, that would be a massive trophy for Rangers. They are in the final and they will face Eintracht Frankfurt. The next midfielder is Brendan Aaronson from RB Salzburg. On Sunday, Brendan started off on the bench and came in at halftime during Salzburg's 4-0 win over Wolfsburg in the Austrian Bundesliga, a meaningless game as they have already won the league. Next up is Julian Green and Tim Tillman from Fürth in Bundesliga, which are now in Bundesliga 2, obviously. On Saturday, Tim Tillman started and played 78 minutes, while Julian Green started off on the bench and came in at the 71st minute for Firth during their 3-1 loss to Borussia Dortmund. Next up is Luca de la Torre from Heracles. On Saturday, Luca de la Torre started and went the full 90 minutes for Heracles during their 2-0 loss to Willems 2 in the Eredivisie. Next up, still in the Eredivisie, Cole Bassett and Richie Ledesma. Cole Bassett from Feyenoord, Richie Ledesma from PSV. On Sunday, Bassett stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes for Feyenoord, and Ledesma stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes for PSV during their 2-2 draw. With 2 games left, PSV is still 4 points behind Ajax, and Ajax will likely win the league. Now, PSV did miss a massive chance to get closer over this weekend. They had a 2-0 lead up to the 86th minute versus Feyenoord, and they blew that lead in the end. They would have cut the gap to just 2 points since Ajax also tied their match. Next up is Alex Mendes from Vizela in Portugal. On Sunday, Alex Mendes started and pretty much played the full 90 minutes as he was subbed off at the 89th minute for Vizela during their 1-1 draw with Marítimo at Liga NOS. Last but not least from the midfielders, Dwayne Holmes from Huddersfield. On Saturday, Holmes started and went the full 90 minutes for Huddersfield during their 2-0 win over Bristol City in the English Championship. And as I said earlier in the video, Huddersfield has qualified to the playoffs of the English Championship to fight for the last spot in the English Premier League. Now let's move on to the forwards, and let's start with Timothy Weah from Lille. On Friday, Weah started and went the full 90 minutes for Lille during their 2-1 loss to Monaco at Ligue 1. Weah played the first half as a striker in a dual striker formation alongside Jonathan David. In the second half, early on, David was subbed off and Weah stayed, and then now he played as a lone striker in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Clearly, Weah is not a poacher. He does not offer that much presence in the box. His hold-up game is also not that great, but his off-the-ball movement and diagonal runs are very dangerous, plus his one-on-one dribbling ability. So it seems like he can be a very dangerous 9 if you play in transition. If he does also improve his finishing a bit as well, that's kind of important. There were 2 or 3 moments in this match where his finishing was quite poor. But hey, as I said, if you play in transition, he can be a very good 9. And in the World Cup, we might have to play in transition depending on the opponent we face. You know, just something to consider. Next up is Matthew Hoppe from Mallorca. On Saturday, Mallorca lost 6-2 to Granada, and Hoppe stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes. And this was a direct battle against relegation. So Mallorca are now in the relegation zone. On the other hand, Hoppe's former club Schalke has returned to Bundesliga for the next season. They just got promoted this weekend in Bundesliga 2. So maybe Hoppe should have stayed, played a full season in Bundesliga 2, got a lot of minutes, a lot of goals, and now he would have been in Bundesliga. So we'll see. He might be in La Liga 2 next season or somewhere else. Next up is Nico Gioacchini from Montpellier in Liga 1. On Sunday, Gioacchini started off on the bench and came in at the 86th minute for Montpellier during their 2-1 loss to Clermont Foot. Now, quick update on Josh Sargent from Norwich. Norwich confirmed this weekend that Josh Sargent is done for the season after re-aggravating his ankle injury. They are already relegated, so it makes sense to rest him. I also think next season Sargent playing the championship is a good thing. It might be more of his level, and we might see him pick up some good form. Chris Müller, everyone, a moment of silence. He is leaving the US Men's National Team Abroad series as Chris Müller has left Scotland after staying there for just 6 months, and he's back in MLS to play for the Chicago Fire, the former Orlando City winger. Now Pefok from BSC Young Boys. On Saturday, Pefok started and played just 34 minutes for BSC Young Boys as he left the game early with an apparent thigh injury. How severe? There's no updates on that on the time of this recording. We'll keep everyone updated probably on next week's episode, but you can also make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter because we can do smaller updates there. So our Instagram is Tactical Manager TV, our Twitter is Manager Tactical. So these small updates that happen during the week, if you want to stay up to date, go follow us in those other platforms. Now, the other striker that we were going to talk about was Haji Wright. He has been red hot lately, scoring every single game, but he plays this Monday. So if you have any updates on Haji Wright, if he scored, if he started for Antalyaspor in Turkey, leave on the comment section down below. He's likely playing or has played already by the time this episode is out. Alright everyone, that does it for this episode of USMNT Abroad. We have one more next week, and then the final one, maybe we'll do a live stream, maybe we'll do a regular episode. Depends on what you guys want. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to do that, okay? By the way, we will read it. And don't forget to drop the like button on the process. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for all the support. I can't wait for June. 4 US Men's National Team games and the U20s playing a very important tournament. Thank you for watching, everyone, and have a great day.